Hello, and welcome to Whispering Universe. I'm glad you're here. Whether you're wrapped in soft blankets, listening with the lights dimmed low, or simply looking for a quiet companion to drift off with, you've arrived at the right place. Tonight, let's take a gentle journey far, far back in time. A story that begins not just millions, but billions of years ago, before there were trees, before there were oceans, even before there was an earth. Tonight, we'll whisper about the birth of everything. Now, I must warn you, this tale may accidentally be too interesting. If you find yourself wide awake, thinking of stars and galaxies, I can only apologize. But if your eyes grow heavy as we explore the cosmos, if you drift away into dreams halfway through, then I'll consider my mission accomplished. So, take a slow, deep breath, feel your body relax and your thoughts quiet down. There's nothing you need to do right now except listen. Before we begin, if you enjoy this blend of science and storytelling, I'd be grateful if you tapped the like button and subscribed. It helps this little corner of calm reach more curious minds like yours. And while you're here, let me know in the comments, where in the world are you listening from? Whether it's afternoon sunlight or midnight stillness, I love seeing how far these whispers can travel. The beginning, the birth of time. Imagine nothing. No light, no sound, no time, no space. Just nothing. And then, in a single, unimaginable instant, everything changed. Around 13.8 billion years ago, what we call the Big Bang wasn't really an explosion as we imagine it. It was the sudden expansion of everything, energy, matter, and time itself, unfolding from a single point smaller than a grain of sand. In the first moments, the universe was too hot for anything familiar to exist. It was a sea of pure energy. Particles flashed into existence and vanished again, like fireflies in a summer night. But as time slowed and the universe expanded, things began to cool. Protons and neutrons formed, then atoms of hydrogen and helium. Light, real light, could finally travel freely. And so, after nearly 400,000 years, the first glow of the universe emerged. We can still see this glow today, faint and cold as the cosmic microwave background, a whisper from the dawn of time. The first stars ignited. For millions of years, the universe was dark and quiet. But gravity, patient and unyielding, began its work. Clouds of gas gathered, pulling tighter and tighter, until they ignited in brilliant nuclear fire. The first stars were born. They were giants, hundreds of times the mass of our sun. Hot, bright, and short-lived, these early stars burned furiously before collapsing in spectacular supernova explosions. In their deaths, they forged new elements: carbon, oxygen, iron, the ingredients for everything to come. Every atom in your body was cooked in the heart of such stars. We are, quite literally, made of stardust. Galaxies form and dance. Over billions of years, these stars began to gather into vast, swirling islands of light, galaxies. Our own galaxy, the Milky Way, began as a collection of tiny star clusters merging together, dancing in the quiet darkness of space. At its heart lies a supermassive black hole, a silent giant whose gravity anchors hundreds of billions of stars. Imagine countless galaxies, each with their own stars, planets, and perhaps someone, somewhere, looking up and wondering, just as you are now. The birth of our solar system. About 4.6 billion years ago, in a quiet corner of the Milky Way, a cloud of gas and dust began to collapse. At its center, a young star flared to life, our sun. Around it, dust and rock collided and merged, forming planets. Some grew large and gaseous, like Jupiter and Saturn. Others small and rocky, like Mercury, Venus, and Earth. Earth awakens. Our planet began as a molten ball of rock bombarded by asteroids and comets. Volcanoes choked the air with steam and gas, and the surface was a restless sea of lava. But slowly, over millions of years, oceans formed, clouds gathered, rain fell, and the stage was set for something extraordinary. The beginning of life. But that is a story for another part of our journey. As we pause here in our cosmic story, let your mind soften. The universe is vast and ancient, yet here you are, a small spark of awareness, breathing in the quiet of this moment. There's nothing more you need to do tonight. Just let the whispers of stars and galaxies rock you gently toward sleep. If your eyes are heavy, let them close. And if you're still awake, we'll continue exploring together in the next chapter. The universe around you feels slower now, as if time itself has paused, and every moment stretches endlessly. You are floating, calmly, weightlessly, through an ocean of quiet darkness. But this darkness is not empty. It feels warm, alive, like it is softly cradling you. Breathe in and feel the calm flow into every corner of your being. Breathe out and let go of anything heavy, anything loud, anything that no longer serves you.
Ahead of you, faint ripples of light drift lazily through the void, like golden threads floating in a still pond. You watch them twist and spiral, so slowly, so gracefully, that even their movement feels like part of a dream. Listen carefully now. The silence is so deep, you can almost hear your own heartbeat echoing across eternity. Soft, slow, steady. Each beat carries you further, deeper into stillness, deeper into peace. You are safe here. The universe has wrapped you in its arms, like a gentle embrace that never ends. As you float forward, there is no sense of direction anymore. No past, no future. Only this perfect, endless now. Feel your breath moving in and out, slow, smooth, effortless. You are not just drifting through the universe. You are part of it now, part of its stillness, its quiet, its gentle heartbeat.
The rise of the microbial world. For nearly 2 billion years, Earth was a planet ruled by microbes. They floated in the seas, clinging to rocks, forming slimy mats along the shores. Slowly, they began to change the world around them. Some learned a remarkable trick: capturing sunlight. These were the ancestors of modern cyanobacteria, tiny architects of transformation. As they soaked up sunlight, they released a byproduct, oxygen. At first, oxygen was a deadly poison to many early life forms, but over time, it filled the oceans, then bubbled into the sky. The air became breathable, the sky turned blue, and the stage was set for larger, more complex beings to appear. Life gets ambitious. Around 600 million years ago, life took a daring leap. Simple cells joined forces, forming multicellular organisms. The oceans blossomed with soft-bodied creatures, jelly-like forms that drifted in the currents. Strange discs and fronds anchored to the sea floor. This was the dawn of the Ediacaran period, a time of experimentation and quiet innovation. But the real explosion was still to come. The Cambrian explosion. About 541 million years ago, life seemed to wake up all at once. In a blink of geological time, creatures of every imaginable shape and size filled the seas. Some had hard shells for protection. Others grew spines, claws, and jointed legs. Eyes appeared, tiny windows to a world of light. This was the Cambrian explosion,
a time of endless creativity. Imagine forests of coral and sponges swaying in shallow waters, worms burrowing in the sand, trilobites scuttling across the sea floor with armored backs and compound eyes. Predators entered the scene too. The ancient Anomalocaris, with its grasping claws and circular jaws, was one of the first hunters. Life had learned to move, to see, and to eat. The rules of survival had changed forever. The colonization of land. For millions of years, the oceans held the story of life. But slowly, quietly, plants began to creep onto land. At first, they were simple mosses and liverworts, hugging damp soil and rocks. These pioneers trapped moisture and created tiny pockets of fertile ground. Soon, taller plants followed, ferns and horsetails, their fronds reaching for sunlight. Insects emerged, scurrying and buzzing among the greenery. Then came the first vertebrates with lungs and limbs, ancestors of salamanders, crawling cautiously from the water's edge. Life was no longer bound to the sea. The Age of Giants began. By 300 million years ago, Earth was covered in vast swamps and towering forests. Dragonflies with wingspans as wide as dinner plates zipped through the air. Millipedes as long as cars crawled beneath dense canopies. Amphibians thrived in this humid world, but they were still tied to water for reproduction. Then a remarkable innovation appeared, the amniotic egg. This little package of life, self-contained and protected, allowed vertebrates to move deeper inland, far from water's edge. Reptiles emerged, scaly and agile, ready to explore new territories. The Great Dying. But Earth's story is never simple. Around 252 million years ago, disaster struck. Massive volcanic eruptions released clouds of gas, choking the air and warming the planet. Oceans turned acidic. Oxygen levels plummeted. This was the Permian extinction, the greatest die-off in Earth's history. Over 90% of marine species vanished. Forests withered. Yet life found a way. The dawn of the dinosaurs. In the quiet aftermath of destruction, a new group began to rise, the archosaurs. From these early reptiles came crocodiles, pterosaurs, and dinosaurs. At first, they were small and unremarkable. Bipedal hunters darting through scrubby underbrush. Herbivores nibbling on ferns. But these early dinosaurs carried within them the potential for greatness. In time, they would grow larger, stronger, and more diverse. And as the Triassic period faded into the Jurassic, Earth prepared to welcome the Age of Giants. But that is a story for another night. As we pause here, let your mind rest. From stardust to cells, from single-celled microbes to the first dinosaurs, life's journey has been long, and yet here you are, listening, breathing, part of that same great story. There's nothing more you need to do right now. Let your thoughts drift like tiny plankton on a gentle current. And if sleep comes, let it take you softly. Good night from Whispering Universe.